Hindus are called on to cast aside hatred and arrogance and live a life of peace and unity as a major religious activity is held for Kari Festa.
And the World Bank calls on governments to redouble their efforts to meet the Millennium Development Goals of Poverty Reduction 2015.
Eye on the judiciary health tips and of course the latest sporting action in the Diamond Mineral Water and NCN Sport News and more after these. Good evening, I am Janelle Prasad.
And I'm Paul Moore.
With this edition of the 6 o'clock news for today, Thursday, August 28, 2008. Paul.
Thanks, Janelle. Guyana's most wanted man and mass murderer, Rondell Feynman Rollins' reign of terror has come to an end. The joint services, during a confrontation on the Linden-Soesdijk Highway this morning, killed Rollins, German Charles, called Skinny, and another wanted man, Sean Grant. Edward Lane has more.
The joint services say the three bodies have been positively identified as those of Feynman, Skinny and Sean Grant. This was clarified by a senior joint services source this afternoon, who said Feynman was identified by other distinguished marks as his face was badly damaged. The gang was in a house close to the Army's base, Camp Grooms of the Linden-Soesdijk Highway. NCN has learned that they were about to launch an attack on the base when they were confronted by the Joint Special Operations Group JSOG and subsequently killed. A soldier was also injured during the shooting and is in a stable condition at the Georgetown Public Hospital. The bodies of the three men were transported from the highway to the Georgetown Public Hospital Corporation, where they were pronounced dead on arrival and later taken to the Likens funeral parlor. When NCN arrived at the scene, members of the Joint Operations Group were celebrating their success.
Hear me, John.
Rollins began a vicious crime spree after the disappearance of his pregnant girlfriend Tanisha Morgan January last and has been linked to at least 31 murders, most notably the Lusignan, Bartik and Lindo Creek massacres. He was also fingered in the slaying of former Agriculture Minister Saturday Usaw in April of 2006. Skinny, on the other hand, escaped from the Sparendam lockup early last month during a court appearance for murder. Charles was on remand for the murder of Minister Saw, his siblings and security guard. He was also charged for several other murders on the east bank of Demerara, including that of the Kaichur News pressmen. Charles' mother and other relatives were at the funeral parlor earlier today. A $50 million reward was offered for information leading to the capture of Rondell Rollins, making him the country's most wanted man. Joint services have managed to kill several members of the notorious gang in the Lindo Creek area. These include Cecil Ramcharan, called Uncle Willie, and Robin Chong, called Chong Boy. Edward Lane, the 6 o'clock news.
Suriname has now joined Guyana and several other CARICOM states in playing down the Trinidad and Tobago's touted regional political union. The Suriname government says while it is not opposing the idea of a political union like Guyana, it is not ready to join. Here again is Edward Lane.
Suriname's Foreign Minister, Lydia Craig-Ketelditch, says during a meeting with Suriname's President Ronaldo Vetinan, Trinidad's Prime Minister Patrick Manning presented a copy of the agreement he recently signed with leaders of Grenada, St. Vincent and the Grenadines and St. Lucia to set up a political union by 2013. Vetinan says he needs to meet with his political advisors before he responds to Manning's request to join the initiative. Craig-Ketelditch, however, says Manning argued that his proposal would not be detrimental to the structure of CARICOM, which is championing the idea to advance economic integration in the Caribbean. Only last week, President Barry Jagdeo said he will not join the agreement unless it is proven to be a successful one. President Jagdeo, like the Suriname's president, said he needs to first study the technicalities of the proposal before making a definitive decision.
But before that technical work is done and discussed thoroughly and consulted on in national jurisdictions, I think it would be premature to speak in any definitive terms about participation in any political union.
The governments of Jamaica and Belize have indicated that their country will not be involved in the political union being proposed by Prime Minister Manning. Seeking support for his initiative for a political union in the region, Trinidad and Tobago's Prime Minister Patrick Manning paid a whirlwind visit to several CARICOM states. However, some 4 countries have ratified the agreement, which seeks to achieve economic integration by 2011 and political integration by 2013, but Guyana remains doubtful of its benefits. Edward Lane, the 6 o'clock news.
President of the Guyana Hindu Dharmic Sabha, Pandit Repudaman Prasad, is calling on all Hindus to cast aside hatred and arrogance and live a life of peace and unity. Pandit Prasad made this statement during last evening's Bhajan Dipanjali at the National Stadium. More in this report.
In Dipanjali, a cultural evening of bhajans, classical Indian dances and drama was held last evening. The event attracted thousands of persons and saw participation from a large number of religious groups from across the country. According to President of the Guyana Hindu Dharmic Sabha, Pandit Repudaman Prasad, Hinduism is a comprehensive view of life which covers every field of human endeavor. He notes that man has many inhibitions which often overshadow the good and has urged all Hindus to defeat these.
Hinduism echoes the message that religion and life are inseparable. No one can justifiably and honestly and conscientiously or religiously claim that they profess religion, but their life is questionable. Therefore, your life must equate admirably with the varying norms and tenets of Hinduism.
President Bharat Jagdeo, in delivering his address, reiterated the call for Guyanese to unite in times of good and bad. The president has also commended the event, which he says has been a good opportunity for Hindus to showcase their rich culture to other nations.
Outside of our belief in God, there is something that is much more important for Hindus. Hindus believe in reincarnation. They believe in karma. They believe that their actions would determine their well-being in future lives. And therefore, our religion forces us to do things that are harmonious and good.
Meanwhile, the Trinidadians transformed the stadium into another era as they performed the popular Ramlila epic. The event has been one of many activities put on by the major religions as a highlight of CARIFESTA 10. It is hoped that religion will play an integral part of the upcoming festivals since it is deeply connected to the Caribbean's culture. Reporting for the 6 o'clock news, I'm Shardalal.
Still to come, a recently released World Bank report says governments should redouble their efforts to meet the Millennium Development Goals of poverty reduction by 2015.
And later Artistic Director of the Cayman Cultural Foundation, Henry Mutu, says Caribbean theatre is not being utilized to its fullest potential. But first, these messages. Stay tuned.